we'll just start big, and I intend to ask this question to anybody I interview, because I'm pretty fascinated by how this spring of creativity sort of manifests itself in all of us. So, when did you know you were an artist?
I'm like, I'll just stop you right there. When I could pick up a pencil.
Excellent.
When I was like 2, I remember being in preschool and I was drawing dinosaurs, and everybody loved my dinosaurs because they actually kind of look like dinosaurs. So when I was 2,
That is an achievement.
Yeah.
I know, I was born for it. Like, just like, I remember that was my first thing I was like, good at, and everyone was like, oh my gosh, they look like actual dinosaurs.
Draw. I have never been able to draw, but it's awesome.
Yeah.
And so obviously it started with illustration. Has it always been like illustration and painting for you? Have you ever dabbled in any other sorts of?
Yes, a little bit. So, I mean, I went to Warren Wilson for college, and I did, of course, did drawing and painting, but I also did things like printmaking, and I never did 3D stuff, but I did, like, printmaking, I guess, was a little bit out there as far as, like, I'd never really, it's all process, so it's a little bit different. And I also did artist books, like bookmaking, so I did a little bit of that.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and that was fun. That was like, I did those mostly so I could illustrate them and like paint in them, but did that, just more for fun, and then I focused on drawing and painting when I was in school.
Well, it shows that you're, I really, immediately, when I saw the colors, I think that's probably what attracted me first.
Yeah.
Because I kind of live my life and see the world around me in those vibrant, bold colors. And so that was probably the first thing that attached me to what I was looking at with you. And I have to ask, who's the betta fish? Is it your betta fish?
Okay, so I do have a betta fish, and his name is Sushi. My sister breeds them, and like she is like obsessed with betta fish, so she breeds them. Yeah, she loves them, and she gave me Sushi for Christmas last year, and like I really didn't want a pet. Like I was like, I don't want to deal with this thing, but like he's not really like my inspiration for it. Like I just started looking at these pictures of like the movement of a fish in water, and I just love that like kind of like flowing thing. So I don't know, I just got inspired, and it just kind of came out. Like it wasn't intentional. I made a little betta fish painting for my sister that was really more abstract, and then I did some others sort of like that, and then they morphed into the more like representational fish that you've seen. I know a couple of mine that and I'll have one that I'll show you guys today too, that's like it's kind of like my favorite one I've done so far. So
yeah, that's one thing I really liked about, and that's leading me straight into my next question, is you kind of have the colors and the movement, and then you throw in the little bits of geometrical shapes. So it's almost like organized chaos.
yes, that's exactly what it is.
Okay.
You nailed it. That's my favorite thing.
That is wonderful. And it's, for me, I have the Phoenix. I bought
Yes.
the Phoenix, Jessica Nielsen art. I bought the Phoenix, and it's actually right over my workspace now.
Awesome.
And so I'm always just kind of, I'll type and I look up to think, and I get lost in it every time because there's so much movement and motion in that still picture. So the big question is there a secret stockpile of art that the world doesn't know about that's going to be like your Prince file after you're gone?
Not yet.
No.
But
She's already planning
not
a
yet.
Prince file.
Yeah, I know, right? Not yet, but I've like been selling a lot of things this year and just like working towards being, it's now it's what I do. Like that's it. So it's how I feed myself, which is a little terrifying. So sometimes you're like, oh shit, I gotta move all these. And
we're trying, so we're like,
I'm so thankful, and so I'm yes, not yet, no Prince file yet, but there will be, as I don't know, we'll see. I've got a lot of years left.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm like, I'll be doing this, and 35 years later, because I'm 35, I'll be only 70. It's young. I'll still be doing art.
And you'll still be making wild, organized chaos.
Yes. Yes.
The world is better.
I'm so grateful that you can see that, because that is truly what I'm doing there, because I love chaos, but I'm also kind of a control freak. So
Right.
I'm like, okay, put boxes around it.
That's what I see. That's
Yeah.
what I see. You know, there's a lot going on, but you have a full grasp on all the moving parts, and it's really cool.
Thank you.
And I try to see art from the perspective of its creator,
Yeah.
and not just entirely what I'm getting from it. And that's what I love most about what we're doing right now, because now I get to be like, hey, so what's it really about? You know,
Yeah.
like, so that's really cool, and I'm glad I kind of hit the nail on the head there. And then I did want to talk about, because you said you've been doing a lot of stuff,
Mhm.
and you know, on your website, I know you've been doing like a lot of commission work.
Mhm.
So, I mean, is that going well for you?
Yeah, it has really done pretty well this year. Like I started getting commissions, and I would make a piece and I would sell it, and someone would email me and they'd be like, I want to buy that piece. I'm like, well, it's sold, so I could do you something similar. And then like a lot of times they'd be like, okay. And
I like
so yeah, like I've been really excited to do commission work. It's kind of like, you get handed the reins to like take it wherever you want a lot of times, and then it's like people tend to really love it when you create something for them. So I love doing commission work. I hope to continue that theme in my life. If somebody's got a particular space that needs even like a color scheme, like I like working with a color scheme that you have, and then like kind of doing my thing with it. So
yeah.
for sure, commission work I super enjoy doing that. It allows me to like kind of think outside the box sometimes too, of like what I would be normally creating. So like sometimes it's like, okay, I know I need to make this piece to match this space, and so I've not really used that color before, but then I get to like come in with a new color scheme and be like, oh, that was really fun to use that,
Yes.
Yeah.
for sure.
What is your process really? I mean, do you start with like pencil and paper?
No, actually,
Jump right in.
I jump right in. I start with acrylic paint. Oil paint is an amazing medium that it's just too messy for me. Like I'll be covered in oil paint, stink like turpentine if I did that. So, so I do paint with acrylics, and I'll start with a blank canvas, and usually like I have an idea where I'm going. Like if I'm doing a fish, like that's definitely like more structured. If I'm doing like a more abstract landscape, I start with just the acrylic paint and just kind of like really messy, like drippy colors blending together, and then let that dry. And then once that is kind of on the canvas as like a basic composition, then I come in with like paint pens and Sharpies, things like that, to do a lot of the line work that I do, kind of like putting boxes around things, which is, I really enjoy doing that. Like sometimes when I'm just looking at things in the room, I'm putting boxes around them like all the time. Like I'll look at a corner and be like,
That's really cool.
like I'm always putting boxes around things and looking at shapes of stuff. So like if I'm looking at those plants over there, I'm like, okay, that makes this shape like that, so I'll go like that. So sometimes I'm just putting boxes around things, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but
I think it's a great thing.
I don't like boxes in my own life. I don't fit in a box, I guess. So then, once the paint pens come out, that does a lot of line work, and then I really love to use India ink markers, which are a kind of like an acrylic marker. It's an ink marker, but I use that to add. It just comes out. Like there's no plan. Like I don't know, I'm gonna make this part red or this part green or this, it's like I kind of have a color scheme idea, and it's all intuitively done. So it goes as it goes. And it, like, I look over here, this needs to be lighter, this needs to be darker, this needs to be blue, blah, blah, and
That's incredible the
And
way
it's
you're
just-
able to trust yourself with that.
Yeah.
that's the only way it works. Like there's no, like, there's an idea that you can form of like, I want to go in this direction, but you don't know where it's gonna end up.
Yeah.
It just comes out, and then it's like, and then once you reach that level of satisfaction with it, it's like this moment of complete, like, the best feeling in the world.
Yeah.
You're like, that's it, that is it,
Yeah.
and then you're just like, ah, and like you feel like you feel like $1,000,000.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Do you-
so cool.
Do you
Sorry.
ever have to like prepare mentally to start painting or anything? Like, or you can just pick it up and go. when you're done?
Sometimes I love creating art. It makes me so happy when I'm in my art mode. Like I'm just really usually pretty joyful about it. If I'm stressed out about something or in a bad mood, I don't really tend to make art. Like I don't make art out of anguish. I make art out of joy. So it's like
It shows.
Yeah.
good.
When
Well, yeah, like
work in a joy.
but I'm not really in English all that much anyway because I feel like I'm a pretty like
That's good.
you know like I work on that. Like
Your sunshine.
well, I try to keep things focused on what I want them to be instead of like because I don't. That's just not the life I want to live. Is like dark and gloomy. So
Yeah.
I try to if I am having a moment and I do need to chill out and like just take some time away from it, I do. But usually when I go to paint, I'm really in a good mood.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really good. Well, there it is. Those were my questions. See
Awesome.
how painless that was?
Totally painless.
So, everyone, today we were interviewing with Jessica Nielsen. You can find her shop her gallery, even explore commissions at jessicanielsenart.com. And that's Nielsen.
Yeah.
We'll be adding links to that on our website as well, so you can just follow it straight through if you have any questions.
Great. And Instagram, I'm on Instagram and Facebook at Jessica Nielsen Art as well.
That's right.
Yeah.
Also, new studio opening in the River Arts District in the Hatchery Studio, Studio 141.
Yes, ma'am.